Ooh, all right. Another IG live session for those of you watching. This is our, I don't know, umpteenth relocation rundown where we bring in a top real estate agent from across the country and we invite them in to talk about what they're looking to do here in real estate and show you all about their hometown and how it goes. Stevens from the Poconos. And Meta is always a little funny when we want to go live. And here we go.
Mr. Vic, can you hear me all right? Hello?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me okay?
I got you. You got me?
I got you, man. Very good. Hey,
awesome, man.
I think Zuckerberg heard us because we were talking a little bit about how Meta takes a while to get things going. And then with you and me,
boom.
Boom. Kind of like how we met, dude. Right away. Boom.
Yeah, for sure.
God. So, we're having some people join right now. There'll be more people joining in. We'll catch up for just a moment while we got our live audience. What's funny, guys, is Max and I have known each other for about 2 years now. And it feels like I've known this guy for like 10 years.
Yeah.
We met in Hawaii, and it was like one of those stepbrothers moments. We're like, did we just become best friends, dude? Like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a great trip. Hawaii, oh man.
Yeah, we were in the bay swimming.
Yeah, we were doing all the things in Hawaii. Some of the fun part about being on the national circuit with real estate is the travel and the people who you get to meet. So I'm very lucky that I got to meet you, Max, and a bunch of other people along the way. But relationships like this matter,
Yeah.
and that's what's important, I think, when you're in the real estate business. Some people think it's just very transactional, do one deal and you're off to the next one. But relationships matter more than really anything, relationships over transactions all day long.
100%. Can't agree enough.
How's your baby girl doing?
She's great. She's not a baby anymore. She's getting big.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, she's like 3 going on 16.
On 16 already?
No, 3 going on 16.
No, I know. I heard you.
Oh, yeah.
On 16.
Yeah,
she just like
crazy.
Completely whipped on the 9 to 10-year-old, right? No preteen, just right to 16.
Well, it's funny because we negotiate for a living, right? This is what we do, right? Yeah. I am horrible negotiator at home with my daughter. It's done for. Like, I'm like, all right, it's time for bed. She's like, no. I'm like, okay, you want to watch a movie? It's so funny.
You're negotiating $1 million deals, but with your 3-year-old daughter, you can't negotiate a bedtime.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. She's got me hooked. I'm done for.
That's what I've heard, man. Well, that's a good thing, okay? Having a close father-daughter relationship it's a beautiful thing, man. So good for you.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
We've got a couple of viewers here, and we want to respect everybody's time because Max and I can catch up for a while. I want to give you an opportunity, Max. Let's talk about who you are, what areas you cover, just a little bit about your background for those of you who don't know Maxwell Stevens.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Maxwell Stevens. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Pocono Real Estate, and that is in northeastern Pennsylvania. That's the lake region of the Poconos, so Pike and Wayne County. If you look at Pennsylvania, the top right-hand corner and that little squiggle, that's us. That's Pike and Wayne County. We're a really big lake community. There's lakes all around us, and we're primarily a second home market for New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, a little bit of Connecticut and Boston.
Okay. And how long is the business, Max?
So I joke around. I feel like everybody's heard this, but it's been my family business my whole life. But I've been licensed since 2018.
Gotcha. And you are working with your extraordinary sales partner. Tell us a little about that dynamic.
My partner in crime, my mom, her and my grandma started the business about 30 some years ago and grew it to this big monster. And then we pared down back to one office. And now we're 3 offices in Milford, Pennsylvania, Lords Valley, Pennsylvania, and then Hawley, Pennsylvania, pretty much northeastern PA. And Yeah, my mom's the broker owner, and her and I are teamed up, and it's the greatest gift I could ever ask for is working with my mom every day and learning from her. She's amazing.
That's great to hear, man. You got good
Yeah.
support there. You got a great mentor and coach, obviously.
Hmm.
So that's very cool, man. Very good to know. Now, for a lot of people, especially my audience here on the West Coast, they're like the Poconos. What is that, right? And the way I would have to describe it, because I got to tell you guys, I've never been to the Poconos before. I've been to Pennsylvania a few times, but never to the Pocono Mountains. The way I'm going to describe it is like for those people on the West Coast, it's like Lake Tahoe or Big Bear, if you would. I heard somebody say that for the Midwesterners, it's kind of like going to Aspen in a way. A lot of ski town, you got the lake, four season mountain resort, secondary home market, right?
Yep, pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, we have four season mountain home. We're I would say we're not as grandiose as the like Lake Tahoe or anything. Like it's not that kind of mountain, but we are in the Pocono Mountains, and it's all about lake life here. Like it's lake life, getting on the dock, hanging out, and having coffee on the dock. There's a lot of water around here, so water's really healing, soothing. So yeah, we're in the woods in the Pocono Mountains around a bunch of water.
So during the spring and summer, you got people on the boats, jet skis, fishing, water sports. What about the winter time? I mean, obviously skiing, snowboarding, stuff like that. What else do you guys do over there in the Poconos?
Yeah, so in the winter we have skiing. It's again like Lake Tahoe and like Salt Lake City and Bozeman, Montana. That's like epic skiing. That's where I like to ski.
Yeah,
But where I like to take my daughter and are like really good family ski areas around here. We have a lot of little winter fests and things people can come to and enjoy. Like we have the iced tea, which is like a golf match on the ice.
Ice
Um,
T. Tell me
the
more about the
iced
Ice T.
tea.
I hear Ice T and I think of like the LA rapper Ice T. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
color,
it's
color,
the iced
color.
tea, and so it's pretty cool. It's like they do like a little putt golf on the ice. So
Oh,
iced tea.
gotcha.
Winterfest, and then we used to when we don't get as much snow as we did before, when I like growing up here. But snowmobiling was great out here around here.
Okay, a little bit of snowmobile action. That's
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are a secondary resort, right? The secondary resort community for the most part. Like people have their houses in Philly, they have a house in New York or Jersey, and then they have the secondary house in the Poconos for a little getaway or an escape, right?
Yep.
That makes sense because a lot of people here have their secondary houses in Big Bear or Tahoe and whatnot. But let me ask you on the flip side, for those people who live year round in the Poconos, what's life like for those guys and girls over there experiencing the Poconos 24/7?
So I like to kind of explain it. I mean, my life, like we're surrounded by water. It's easy living. It's slow mornings. Like I love my slow mornings with coffee. Hanging out with my daughter. We like to go. In the fall, we just went pumpkin picking and apple picking. In the winter, we do these winter fests, and in the summer, we're enjoying the lake and outside. There's a lot of hiking and biking and just a really good sense of community. The school systems are great. There's great parks and trails from like town to town, and there's just so much to offer. But it's a slow down and rewind and like just chill. It's not like that. Yeah, just chill. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I get to live here and just enjoy what we have to offer here every day. This is what
That's good.
people, they vacation here. Like I live where
Yeah,
people vacation.
yeah. I hear that. You live where
Yeah.
people get to vacation at, and that's a cool feeling. Now, let's imagine somebody from either the East Coast, somebody from the Midwest, or even the West Coast, anywhere around the world.
Hmm.
They're thinking about buying let's go two routes with this, okay? They're thinking about buying a secondary home in the Poconos. What would be
Okay.
something that they would need to look for? And then we're going to flip that for the person who's maybe looking to retire in the Poconos and wants to have that easy, breezy life.
Well, so it again, it all depends on what we like to say is we're affordable luxury, right?
Mhm.
So like we are attainable. So it's not like if you want a lake house that you have to have, $1 million+ Like our average sale price is 353 and our median is 300 on the nose. So like one thing I really like people to know is like if you have a dream that you want a lake house, you can get it here. Like it's attainable. So like
Okay.
that's number one. And then like retiring here, same thing. A lot of people what they do is they come from New York or New Jersey, Philadelphia area, and they buy a second home to use while they're in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and then they eventually turn that into their forever home. It's a lower cost of living, slower lifestyle, chill, relax. And so that's definitely an option too for people here.
Okay, I understand that. That makes a lot of sense too, because I'm thinking about some people who are kind of doing the same thing. They buy the secondary house first to vacation there. They might Airbnb it or use Verbo to get some short-term rental income on that, and then slowly but surely they're building it into their forever home where they're going to retire.
100%.
So
Yep. That
since we're talking about a secondary market, right? What is your guys' Airbnb, Verbo, or any other short-term rental regulations? Are there any rules or things that people have to follow if they're deciding to short-term rental their Poconos property?
Yeah, so that's a loaded question and I can like we could do a whole call on just this, but there's, townships, there's township rules, there's the individual HOA and POA rules, and you got to watch for that. But what's happening in some of these communities is they're saying they're not allowed, and the homeowners are actually fighting back and saying we want short-term rentals allowed, and the homeowners are winning. The townships are regulating it to where you need to get permits, and it needs to be a safe place to live, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But what the townships are worried about are the septic systems, because we're not on like public sewer, or I shouldn't say all of them, but most of our properties are on individual on-lot septic systems. So that's another good thing to know about living here. But that's what the townships are worried about mostly, is having a bunch of people and these individual on-lot septics renting out over and over and over again. So as long as your ducks are in a row and you're paying attention to all that, you should be okay.
Okay, I understand. And you know what? One thing I forgot to mention for those of my friends here on the West Coast, a township is like a small city. Okay,
Yes.
and so like you have the country, you got your state, you got your county, and then in some unincorporated areas, we just kind of like for us, it's just unincorporated area of Los Angeles. Okay, it's not going to be a township. There could be like a neighborhood council. They have like Highland Park Neighborhood Council or Marina Del Rey Neighborhood Council, but it's not a true city. And townships are kind of like that, right? Smaller groups of
I
homeowners.
don't know. I don't even know if I would call it a city.
Right. That's why it's not a
Yeah,
city. It's
it's
a
like
township.
it's a township, but I wouldn't even call it a small city. Like it's like a small area. The there's one guy, maybe one or two people who run the township building. So very small, very
It's like
small.
one of those. It's reminding me of my mom's old TV show. She used to like to watch Andy Griffith,
Yeah.
where you had the same guy literally wearing different hats. He was the mayor one day with his mayor hat, and his pin. Then he would take it off, and he was the sheriff.
Yep.
And then he would take it off, and he's the judge. And then
a
he would take it
hundred
off, and
percent.
he's the gas station owner, wiping your stuff down, and arresting you, and then all at the same time. So that is a township for those of you who are familiar with stuff like that. And
Yeah.
my friend, we got Max here. Simon, you got Simon here saying Max, he's watching from the UK. So very cool.
Awesome. Very
Uh,
cool.
Very
Very
cool.
cool.
Nice to see you on here, Simon. Hope to see you in LA back soon, buddy. So, so the townships are fighting back because they want to do Airbnb. Like for us here in Los Angeles, you can Airbnb for like 120 days out of the year maximum. It needs to be your primary residence, and you do need to get some permits and some inspections done. Okay. For places like Santa Monica, it's 90 days. They're their own little city now, right? I mean, they split off a few years ago, more than a decade ago from Los Angeles, but their rules are more stringent. They only allow 90 days of Airbnb on a primary residence, and their fees and taxes are through the roof for that because they don't want Airbnb arbitrage in the town anymore. It became a really big thing. So did you guys experience a big wave of Airbnb buyers a few years ago, just
For
before
sure.
COVID? Yeah,
Yeah,
same
for
thing.
sure. Yeah, and that's where the whole like the cracking down on them a little bit came into play. But we have the same thing. So, but it's instead of like areas of the city, it's just areas of our like the communities around our um, counties, right? You need to wait 2 years to rent it, and then you can rent it after you buy. So that prevents people from, just buying in there and renting right away.
Yeah,
Some people say it's a 30-day minimum, so you really got to know where you're looking around here to get it. But a lot of people, I have clients that do very well here with
yeah.
short-term rentals, and we have a whole short-term rental company that does management and a la carte services and property management. So it's really good for our clients.
I like that. And
Yeah.
since we're talking about real estate, obviously, if you're thinking about doing Airbnb arbitrage in the Poconos, this guy right here, this is the guy to contact.
Thank you,
You've heard
Vic.
of a lot of different
Thank you,
rules,
Vic.
and Max knows this stuff. Now we were talking about we're talking about price point, and you said that their average sell price is about $350,000. Okay, but the average price in the entire region is going to be about 300. But you guys have everything from like $1 million lakefront properties to starter homes, right? Um, let's ask a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom cabin in a decent part of the Poconos, someplace that maybe you and your daughter would say, hey, maybe we would like to own that. What do you think that cost would be?
So like I have a few listed. I have a lot listed, but like I have one listed right now that just popped into my mind at 359.
359.
359. It's a really nice little 3 bed, 3 bath, on an acre and or so. We have larger acreages than like we have like third acre, half acre, and then up. Like we can go, I mean, people can have 15, 20 acres for one house. So yeah, like this one is on an acre and a half, 2 acres, and it's listed for 359. Very well kept, and yeah.
Let me ask you this, Max. Speaking of acreage, because we don't have a lot of acreage here in California, is that acreage usable? Because a lot of times in our mountain resort areas, you got hillside and you can't really do anything with it. So do you have a lot of flat land there as well as, mountainous regions?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. We there in Wayne County is a lot of farmland for sure, and then in Pike County is more woodsy. But yeah, we have usable acreage here. I mean, some parts like if you're talking, like I have a listing at in Bushkill, it's 170 acres. Like that's a monster. And so there's like flat parts, and then there's cliffs, and then there's ponds, and so you have all sorts of topography here.
They got all of it over there. Okay. So about 360 for good neighborhood, starter level home there. Now let's say I wanted to ball a little bit, right? I want to have a boat slip. I want to be able to put my jet skis right there. I want to be able to go from my property to the dock and hop right on my boat, in and out, no problems. What is a property like that going to run?
Fixer upper or turnkey?
Let's go turnkey because I'm balling right now, right?
Turnkey. Okay. Yeah, you're at least one point like a million and up. A million and up easily. There are some really cool properties that are like smaller cottages, like gumbo cottages on the lake that you can get for under a million. Um, but if you want like that kind of, big house on the lake, you're on Lake Wallenpaupack, that is. Now you can go to smaller lakes where I live is I live on a little small lake in the Poconos. It's like across the street from it, technical lakefront. And you're in the 500,000 to 600,000 if you'd like to do that. It's kind of like a Pocono hack.
Yeah. Pocono hacks. I love
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Very cool. I feel like there is a price point for everybody over there. From the 360, 600,
Oh
million
yeah.
and up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
our market, so our average sale price today is 352.45, right? Our median price range is 300,000 on the nose, and you're talking from $26,000 summer, trailers to $6 million properties. Yep.
Nice.
All
Everything
and
in
all
between.
everywhere between. Yep.
I like that. Well, what are the market trends over there in the Poconos? Are we on an uptrend right now? Are we in a downtrend? Is it kind of flatland? What's going on over there with you guys?
Well, so I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say that it's all I see is opportunity everywhere. We've definitely cooled down, which is good because it's sustainable. But yeah, we're in a cooling phase, but I see opportunities in any market. And I mean, I personally bought, sold, and invested in markets that others told, were saying that it wasn't good to do that, and I did all three. So I always say it's opportunistic.
Yeah, well, that's looking from the eyes of an entrepreneur. There's opportunity everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. For
Once you make
sure.
it, right? But it's good to know because again, like if you are on the East Coast or looking for somewhere, maybe an affordable retirement home or a secondary home market, Poconos comes to mind for most people on the Upper East Coast. I know that our friend Jake over there in Hudson Valley, he has a secondary market north of the city, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you, how far along the way, if I'm leaving New York City, if I'm leaving Philadelphia, if I'm leaving Washington, D.C., what are my commute times to get to the Poconos from all three of those metros?
Okay, so Philadelphia is like 2.5 hours, like a solid 2.5 hours. DC is a little further, probably 4 hours.
Okay.
New York, depending on where you are in New York, anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like you can get to Montauk, the tip of Long Island, without any traffic in about 3.5, 4 hours. Um, and then sometimes you can get to Manhattan in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we're very centrally located. Boston's about 4 hours. Now don't quote me on these times because I drive fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Porsche wasn't made to sit in the driveway, buddy.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Whipping
It's the
in the wind.
Batmobile. Yeah.
Especially on the curve, I can imagine going up the mountains. You're just like whipping it.
Oh, yeah, so that like an activity to do around here, at least what I love to do is just take a drive, Right now the fall foliage and the leaves turning colors, and we have some roads that are famous and shot in magazines. So like it's like twisty, curvy, movie grade drives you can take, and you can stop and get coffees and maybe, some apple cider donuts. Like that's to me, that's a great day.
Yeah, that's good to know, man. Very good
Yeah.
to know. And we're gonna get into the your favorite coffee shop and stuff like that in just a minute. Real quick, since we're talking about still talking about real estate and the commute times for those secondary markets and metros, is there anything particular about how you guys do business over there? Like, for instance, here in California, we use escrow companies. We're on a 30-day escrow for most of our transactions. We have, 17 days for buyer inspections and
Mhm.
appraisal and all those things here. Is there anything uniquely special about the way the Poconos region does real estate?
So that all sounds very familiar. It's similar to our market. We're not an attorney state. We're a title state. So we have title companies. Attorneys do deed prep. We are a time is of the essence state. So, once you have the both parties executed the agreement, the time starts ticking.
Yeah,
So they have 14 days to do inspection or 10, whatever's in the agreement. One thing that's interesting is, like New York City or in New York, their closing dates are on or around.
mhm.
We are on or before, which that if you need to extend that both parties need to agree to that.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
kind of like
that's
what
a
we have here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important to know. But yeah, it's those are pretty much the inner workings of a real estate deal here.
Okay. So you're a title
hmm
state. Do you guys use escrow at all, or do attorneys draft, the secondary contract?
Oh no, so we're a Pennsylvania Association of Realtors standardized form. We have a standard
Yep.
agreement of sale, and we actually write well, it's we fill out the contracts, and once that contract's signed, it's executed. So
Yeah.
we don't really do like an attorney review up
Okay.
in our area. Clients are welcome to have that, you know, do that. Um, but yeah, we do most
Not
of the
required.
contracts. Yeah, not
Yeah,
required.
like a
Right.
normal process for how you guys do business over there. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
actually very similar to what we do here in California and Arizona and Nevada, right? But I know that some of the Midwestern or East Coast states do have their attorney states where the agent writes the contract and they kind of leave it to the attorneys to close it all out. So I'm surprised to hear that in Pennsylvania that's not the case, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
what we're
that's
here. We're
that's New
learning.
York. So when we do like sale and settlement contingencies and people are selling in New York and buying in Pennsylvania, you got to be careful with that because New York's on or around and they're an attorney state. So it's like it could swing either way
Yeah.
that closing 30 to 60 days.
Mhm.
But here it's, let's,
Let's get it
time is of
done.
the essence.
Let's get it done quickly. Yeah, we're not going to
Yeah,
sit around and think about it for 3 weeks or whatnot. Well, that's good
right.
to know. Now, let's imagine, bro. I'm coming to visit you in the Poconos. It's true. I've never been before, right? What are some must-do activities? Like, where would I go in the morning time? Where would I go for lunch? What could I do and see? Restaurants, anything that you would advise me to do on a 24-hour turnaround in the Poconos? Shoot.
So I think I mentioned it before. My favorite thing to do is the drives, but along the drives you have these tiny, cool little artsy towns that like you have Milford, Hawley, Honesdale, and then we're right on the border of New York, upstate New York. So you can hop over to New York and hit these really cool. They have great coffee shops in each town. You can get apple cider donuts and some apple cider and go apple picking and pumpkin picking in the fall. And um, the restaurants in Hawley are very good. We have a lot of people coming from the bigger cities opening restaurants. So like we have the Ridge and Raven and Robin and the Settlers Hospitality Group. They have unbelievable real estate and properties that you can go visit that are like old inns and like old castle buildings that are big bluestone castle buildings and gift shops. And I joke around that Holly, we have a lot of antique shops. So like if you wanted to go antiquing or you're looking for something very particular, Holly might have it. Holly and Honesdale might have it. So yeah, that's like what I would recommend doing. And then of course, if you're here in the summertime, get out on that lake. Go get to the water.
Yeah. So a couple of different towns. I I heard apple cider donuts. I'm not a
Yeah.
coffee guy, but some green tea, apple cider donuts. That sounds like a good breakfast for me. Definitely would want to go check out some of those newer restaurants and
hmm
some of the smaller town vibes there. I mean, castles. Like, dude, who castle? Like,
Yeah, so there's this building. It's called the Silk Mill, and it's I think it's the biggest bluestone building in the world. I think it actually is like a world record. It's a bluestone building, and it looks like a castle. It was an
the
old
Silk
silk
Mill.
mill. Yeah, it was an old silk mill. And there's a river that goes through it that actually that's what they dammed up to fill up Lake Wallenpaupack, which is a man-made lake. And there's waterfalls back there. It's stunning. It's stunning. Yeah.
I like that. It sounds good. Our friend Bridget from Tucson says she needs to go pay you a visit. And
Yeah.
Simon's like apple cider donuts. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can house 6 to 12 donuts myself, no problem.
We think real world in the Poconos. Some point in the
Yeah.
future, we'll see, man. Well, listen, Max, I know your time is valuable. Thanks for spending this half an hour with me to talk to our audience about the Poconos and all things real estate. It's really good to see you, man. You look great. I'm glad to hear you're
Thank
doing
you so
well.
much for having me.
Tell the baby girl, tell your mom, we all said hello, a lot of well wishes. And for those of you who are interested in Poconos real estate, Maxwell Stevens, right here. Max, drop your website real quick so they can write it down.
Okay. It's easy. It's PoconoRealEstate.com.
Cake, PoconoRealEstate.com. Give
Yep.
Maxwell a shout. Reach out to him in case you have questions about visiting the Poconos, a secondary Airbnb arbitrage opportunity, or maybe building your retirement home there, your forever dream home in the Poconos. Max is the guy to know. So, Max, thanks again, man. I
Vic,
appreciate
I
your
love you,
time
buddy.
today.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon, huh?
All right. Sounds good.
Bye,
See you
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.